Ja, ich spiele quasi gespiegelt WSAD. Also ich spiele mit PLÖE. Das ist mein WSAD. Versteht ihr? Bläh. Dreh doch die Tastatur um. Das ist einer meiner Hauptmoderatoren. Ceylon, danke für den Sub. Der Nesis, der ist nämlich klug.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427.
Passt das von der Lautstärke für euch?
Buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Warte, ich guck mal, ob es Untertitel gibt. Das müsste doch hier auch hoch. Das ist doch schon ein altes Spiel. Aber ich glaube, man kann hier nirgendwo. Doch, zack, da. Kurz die Sensitivity runterstellen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
The meeting room.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Psycho Score, vielen Dank, Mann. Danke für den Sub und danke für das Lob. Da würde ich jetzt gern rein. Die Bildsprache, oder? Na gut.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, He entered the door on his left.
Hm. Kann ich wirklich? Ja. Hm. He entered the door on his left. Was passiert, wenn ich jetzt rechts gehe?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, nochmal die Entscheidung. Nochmal ignorieren oder? Die Tür wird sich wahrscheinlich wieder schließen. Provozieren die Stimme.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Kriegt so ein bisschen Portal-Vibes. Gibt's eigentlich... Moment, ich muss mal gerade... Gibt's einen Jump-Button? Habe ich... Use Item. Strafe. Duck. Man kann gar nicht springen. Da ist der Ausgang.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Hier runterjump? Ah, nee, ich kann ja nicht springen. Ich hätte von der Plattform, könnte ich ganz runter, wäre ich wahrscheinlich tot, ne? Tür geht nicht zu. Interessant. Okay. Natürlich. Extra gewartet, bis ich eine Falschaussage mache. Das ist mehr Meter, als ich dachte.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Man könnte jetzt natürlich auch so denken, er weiß jetzt, dass ich seine Befehle missachte. Das heißt, wenn er sagt, gehe durch die rote Tür, weiß er, dass ich durch die blaue Tür gehen werde. Er will also, dass ich durch die blaue Tür gehe. Also gehe ich durch die rote. Oder ist das ein Hinweis auf die rote und die blaue Pille von Matrix? Ihr habt vollkommen recht.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you. What do we want? What are we looking for?
Was ist das?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we
What?
just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Da kam ich her, oder? Vielleicht muss ich trotzdem wieder zurück.
No, wait. Where are you going? Right. Where were we?
Soll ich hier einfach mal runterjumpen und gucken, was passiert? So, ich springe einfach jetzt runter, guck, was passiert. Oh, es geht gar nicht. Ich kann nicht runterspringen. Oh, okay, jetzt wird es langsam wirklich. Okay, ich gehe weiter.
Oh no! Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Immer wenn ich klicke, das hört sich an wie eine Tastatur immer, ne? Ich habe das Spiel reingelegt, ich gehe wieder zurück.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
Okay, selbst damit hat er gerechnet. Das ist schon crazy. Kommt jetzt. Kommt noch was? Ah, okay, es geht wieder von vorne los. Alles klar. Es ist am Ende doch nur ein Spiel. Puh.
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you? Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Okay, was passiert, wenn ich jetzt zurückgehe? Wenn er jetzt auch noch was dazu zu sagen hat, dann finde ich das schon echt sensationell gut. Ich will mich nicht in den Abgrund stürzen.
You are going to stay here.
Er sagt wieder was anderes. Also es gibt nur die Möglichkeit, darunter zu springen oder hier irgendwie... Aber hier tut sich ja auch nichts mehr. Okay. Ich glaube, ich muss springen, Leute. Ich glaube, ich bin hier irgendwie in eine Sackgasse gekommen. Hier ist auch irgendwie nichts. Ich kann ja nun wirklich nicht viel machen. Ich soll das Cam-Bild größer machen. Sieht man mich? Das Spiel ist doch wichtiger. Okay, ich springe jetzt, Leute. Geronimo!
Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room? No. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to get rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Okay, jetzt gehe ich zurück.
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Okay. Tja, wie kommt man denn jetzt hier raus? Immer springe ich noch. Aber wenn da nichts passiert, dann weiß ich auch nicht.
Is it over?
Jetzt ist es passiert.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Uhr 20.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ich mache jetzt genau das gleiche nochmal und gucke, was passiert.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others?
Bis jetzt ist alles gleich.
Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why... I don't know how to convince you of
Oder
this,
ich gehe durch die andere
but I really
Tür.
do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop.
Okay, also so ist das Spiel doch nicht. Es erinnert sich nicht, dass ich schon hier war. Scheinbar.
And I think I have a solution.
Ich musste das jetzt ausprobieren. Ich muss wissen, wie schlau dieses Spiel ist.
What do we want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? No, wait. Where are you going? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place... Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset.
Okay, weiß nicht, dass ich hier schon mal war. Okay. Sonst hätte gesagt, you remember this
no,
oder
Stanley,
so.
Let me stay here. Don't take this from me. No! Oh, no. No.
Okay,
What are you
viermal
doing,
springen.
Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one, is it over?
Okay.
It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Wir wissen jetzt, wenn wir die gleichen Entscheidungen treffen, kriegen wir die gleichen Ergebnisse. What? Kaum sage ich's, ist hier was anders. Oh shit. Was machen wir denn da draus jetzt? Oder das kommt halt immer, wenn man zweimal stirbt. Das kann natürlich auch sein. Einfach.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Kann man nicht richtig lesen, ne?
No, the orders were still missing. for now.
Ich mache alle Computer aus. Wichtig. Awaiting Input. Kann man pro Run nur ein Input machen oder so?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, das ist jetzt ein erstes Mal. Aber schon in der alternativen. Im alternativen
Yet there was
Zeitstrahl.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
This box is too small. This part. Legal boss inspection. Ideas and development. What to do about 432. 432. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is gone. Steht da? Tips for not getting fired. Talk less. Do unbelievable. How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressively on other coworkers. Using slides to assure employees that everything's okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Number of slides on the slide. Charts and slides.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Boss Appreciation Minute. What is hot? Profits. Things, money, more money. Graphs about things and money. 402 und 405 want to get rid of the death sport portion in the primary review sketch. But I think that's a stupid idea. More water coolers. More water heaters. Charts need to be more hip to appeal to teenage demography. Find teenagers to put in teenage demography. Work harder, hard worker. No more bins, trash cans. Ideas. Broom Closet, da sollen wir einen rauslassen. Da stand doch was mit Broom Closet. Lass jemand aus dem Schrank raus.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Sehr verdächtig, dass er dazu was sagt.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Ja, weil du hast es thematisiert und jetzt glaube ich, dass hier was ist. Ich weiß noch
You
nicht.
do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Ich glaube, ich gehe raus, oder? Noch bleiben oder raus? Ja, ich glaube, es ist hier nichts mehr, oder? Man ist natürlich so, das ist wie wenn du auf den Bus wartest und er kommt und kommt nicht. Und du denkst, soll ich jetzt doch laufen? Aber du hast so Angst, dass dann der Bus kommt, in dem Moment, wo du losläufst. Dass du ja eben doch noch bleibst. Aber in der Zeit, in der du dann weiter wartest auf den Bus, hättest du halt zu Fuß das Ziel schon erreicht. Ja, es tut sich nichts mehr.
Ah, you too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Okay, wir gehen weiter.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Executive Bathroom.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845. Jetzt natürlich die Frage, wollen wir das wirklich eingeben? Oder finden wir noch eine andere?
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Habe ich eingegeben, weil das hier auf den Weinflaschen 2003 stand.
2845.
Ja, aber es gibt auch keine
Forgot,
Hinweise.
but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just
What?
opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Der ist doch recht linear, habe ich das Gefühl. Ne? Okay. Das Spiel hat keine Geduld mehr mit mir. Ja.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ich weiß nicht wieso, ich krieg von dieser Stimme so ein bisschen Kevin Spacey-Vibes. Das macht's noch creepy.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Hm. 914 vor allem. If light is on.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ja, rein da, oder? Das war wirklich mein Tod. Vielleicht ist der Tod der Ausgang. Oh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Well.
Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly. And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Shows the office from the beginning of the game. A path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, through the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. Set two open doors was the very first piece. Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it. An exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Ist ja total abgefahren. Button sounds. Selection of the sounds used throughout the game with buttons when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesizer. Boss's Office. Underground. Mind Control Facility. Narration Outtakes.
Stanley pushed the number 6. Stanley pushed the orange lever. And finally, he pushed the number 9. Now then, this elevator for sure would get him right back on track to where it's supposed to be.
Ist ja alles sehr strange. Das sieht irgendwie komisch aus. Warum ist da sowas? Seht ihr das?
See how it's impossible for the player to do.
Erkennbar ist für euch.
Perfect example of poor level design. Textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you pick up on intuitively if you have even the most fundamental understanding of good and bad.
Hier geht's noch hoch. Freedom Ending. Okay, also verschiedene Enden. Oh, jetzt ist ja aber Countdown Desk. Ich glaube, das zeigt mir hier sogar Sachen, die ich noch gar nicht gesehen habe im Spiel. Monitor Room Elevator. Countdown Room. Game Design Mockup. This leather and Davy the writer is a kind of an audition piece. Stanley's Office. 427, 427, 427. Mit Bild, 2 Computern. Oh, ich kann da gar nicht rein. Das ist, glaube ich, der originale Raum, ne? Das sind alles... Das sind voll die Spoiler eigentlich. Ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob ich hier schon hätte sein sollen. Irgendwie bin ich hier an einen... Das sind alles so wahrscheinlich Räumlichkeiten, zu denen man gelangen kann, wenn du halt verschiedene Wege gehst. Obey, disobey. Fusion. Vent. Das ist wie eine Komplettlösung. Sending. Cut from the game. Okay. Hier. Trailers. We're for major games are each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one released in May 2012. 12. This is series of broken rooms and the voices are transforming used at the Echt lustig, das in Form so eines Museums zu machen. Ich bin, glaube ich, wirklich verlaufen. Ja, ich bin hier rein. Da links, hier war ich, glaube ich. Ah doch, hier komme ich gerade her. Da war ich, glaube
ich. Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now, and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time
Ja. Sieht so aus. Don't let time.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So, jetzt nehmen wir die. Aha.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
What? What?
No,
What
not
the
the
fuck?
right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Hä?
It's clearly...
Wo ist der Aufzug
Oh
hin?
dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Nee, der war hier hinter den Türen.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
What?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Or did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Jetzt hätte ich gleich Knoten im Kopf.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
What? Ey, der kann doch nicht einfach immer das Spiel beenden, wenn er Bock hat. Die Schublade war doch auch noch nicht auf, oder?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Aha. Der ist immer noch aus? Why? Das ist doch auch neu. Das ist doch neu, Leute. Die Kaffeetasse, die umgekippte.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Oh, das sei. Okay.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Hä? Okay.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time, I have to restart.
Ey, wie viele Restarts waren das jetzt schon? What?
All right.
Das ist ja so lustig.
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Aha. Das ist... Oh, warte mal. Hä? Warte mal, warte mal. Dann da raus? Lass mich an den Solitärcomputer. Nein. Das ist ja so gemein. Vier B, 4-3. Auch interessant. Die Tür hat die Klinke an der anderen Seite. Und das ist keine 3, sondern ein B. Aber warum?
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay, now if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office in fact the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Oh mein Gott, habe ich mich erschreckt.
cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything. Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Also. Das ist ja schon frech.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Stellt euch mal vor, dass sowas passiert euch wirklich, ey. Seid für den Rest eures Lebens im Grunde mal rum. Oh, guck.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine. Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Na, triggert euch das? Macht euch das fertig, Chat? Ich laufe immer noch im Kreis. Immer weiter, obwohl die Tür sich geöffnet hat. No progress. Was wollt ihr machen? Was wollt ihr machen? Nein, warte, nicht bei. Jetzt bleibt. Nein, geh doch nicht zu Nils. Was ist denn los? Komm, ich gehe hier durch die Tür. Alles klar, guck. Hier. Geh durch die Tür. Ei, Leute. Progress.
Oh, hold up. What's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait, you know. I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if
Hab ich das ausgelöst? Hab ich das gerade ausgelöst?
all of his co-workers were gone, what could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Das ist doch.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time understood true happiness. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Jetzt checke ich wirklich gar nichts mehr.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's
The broom
office,
closet.
hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, not again. I won't be part
Nein,
of
er
this.
merkt
I'm
sich
not
das
going to
tatsächlich, das ist
encourage
ja
you.
geil.
I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Hier könnte man so ein gutes Streaming-Büro draus machen. Eine schöne Besenkammer ist das. Schöne Besenkammer. Okay, was passiert?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Shit.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Wieder von vorne? Ich raff hier gar nichts mehr. Wie lang geht das denn so? Also, bin ich jetzt Mariella? Nee.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
Das ist auf jeden Fall neu, der Text. Ja, da sagt. Aber es ist wirklich genauso wie in diesem Confusion-Ending stand, oder? Das wird schwarz.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to
Das
his
ist ja
boss's
nur
office,
geil, ey.
hoping
Guckt
he
euch
might
das
find
an.
an
Die
answer there.
Besenkammer ist zugebrettert, ey. Okay, das ist geil. Das ist ja wirklich mega nice.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Unten bin ich in diesen Todesloop gekommen, ne? Hier oben lang. Oh, jetzt geht's rein. Ich wollte gerade sagen, ey, irgendwann kommt man da bestimmt rein. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Extreme bathrooms. Okay, hat aber auch gar keine Bewandtnis irgendwie. Man kann auch mit nichts interagieren. Der Raum war auch zu vorhin. Das ist ein Bug. Hoch oder runter? Hoch. LOL? Nee. Nee. Das kann nicht sein. Gehen wir jetzt nach unten. Ach komm jetzt, das ist doch lame. Dass die Stimme jetzt auch nicht spricht. Irgendwie, warum ist denn dieser Aufzug hier? Was soll das denn? Geht nicht. Runterfahren lassen. Sobald ich drücke, komme ich hier nicht mehr raus. Okay, also hier scheint einfach nichts zu gehen. Das ist strange.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Hier war ich da auch schon. Hat sich nichts geändert, ehrlich gesagt. Ich verstehe das nicht. In dem Raum mit dem Aufzug hat sich was geändert. Also, dass man überhaupt rein konnte. Aber ansonsten alles beim Alten.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Kann man hier runter? Da ist nochmal so eine Kameraknopf.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ja, genau in der Mitte ist unsere. Hier 2,7 sind wir. Aber tut sich nichts. Pirate. Was? Nee, doch. Da ganz oben Pirate? Pirate? Steht da Pirate oder ist das? Pirate.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Einfach mal irgendwelche Tasten drücken. Was soll schon schief gehen? Die auch drücken. 10. Okay. Aus. Das könnte auch eine 9 sein. Gerade mal so auf. Okay. Okay, ich glaube, hier kann man nichts machen, oder? Das ist einfach komplette... Wohl. Wir haben 1, 2, 3. Was ist da oben? 4. Da ist 5. 3.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Okay, warte, erstmal müssen wir die 5 Knöpfe da drücken und gucken, was passiert. sich vielleicht hier die Tür. Eins. 2. 3. 4. Nichts? Das hätte ich jetzt nicht gedacht. Hab ich irgendwas übersehen?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this
jetzt konnte man ihn
means,
drücken.
I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room.
Ja, Mann.
Numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door.
Ihr seid so Schweine.
Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble.
Nein.
This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Oh Gott, im Ernst?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really.
Überlebe ich das?
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Hier war ich, glaube ich, noch nie.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Ich drücke jetzt einfach nicht. Guck mal, was passiert. Okay. Ja. Kann nichts machen, außer die Tasten drücken.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality,
okay.
all he's doing
Krass.
is pushing the same buttons he always
Es wird
has.
langsam mein
Nothing
Büro
has changed.
und dann stehe ich
The
wieder am
longer he
Anfang,
spends
oder?
here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Mach alles, was er sagt. Drück's nicht. Ja. Unentschieden. Was geht bei euch, Chat? Alles cool? Fuck.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Dreht durch.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Oh, die Tür ist zu. Das ist auch neu.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps too majestic, like a combination of a much smaller version and a much larger version of this exact room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So, jetzt jump ich da runter.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ich versuche auf dem Dach
Look,
von so
Stanley,
einem
I think
Truck zu
perhaps
landen.
we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not sure. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful. Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Wo war nochmal die
Stanley was so
rote und die
bad at
blaue
following
Tür? Ich
directions,
glaube, da
it's
musste ich hier auf diese
incredible he
Brücke
wasn't fired
springen,
years
oder?
ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the... What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Die blaue
Now
habe ich noch
listen
nie
carefully,
genommen, oder?
this is important. Stanley walked through the red door. Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked
What?
through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing
Hier war ich noch nie.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
What? Das ist ja so abgefahren, das Spiel.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Ja, scheiße.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely
Ich habe alles gegeben, Leute.
I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Well, Stanley,
Bitte
is
was?
this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then... Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course, and just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. Ah, but you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable. Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Okay, jetzt spiele ich Minecraft. Hey Leute, hier ist wieder euer Pimpel-Popo und heute wollen wir mal gucken, wie so der Superofen funktioniert. Ich habe den hier auch gleich mal schon mal vorbereitet und damit geht es dann gleich richtig ab. Ich habe hier nochmal extra ein paar Dynamos dran geschraubt, ein bisschen TNT unten dran und dann machen wir hier noch eine kleine Redline. Bam, bam, bam. Und jetzt geht's gleich hier richtig ab. Oh shit, da sind Zombies, hier geht's richtig runter. Oh mein Gott, was passiert hier unten? Hier war ich ja noch nie. Gibt's hier etwa einen Redstone? Oh, das ist ja der Hammer. Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Oh, da habe ich was gehört. Habt ihr es gehört?
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
Okay, das ist jetzt wirklich Portal oder was? Nein, das ist ja geil.
Way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself.
Cake is a lie läuft
What
da.
is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is. Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius. No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
Okay, what the fuck? Please rate your experience. Oh nein, ich bin schon wieder. Da ging's. Holy shit, das wollte ich nicht. Ja. Wahrscheinlich wäre ich hier gelandet. Aber man weiß es nicht. Dieses Spiel ist einfach nicht berechenbar. Um nicht sogar zu sagen, unberechenbar. Hier ist 27. Hm. Hm. Nichts machen. Muss doch irgendwas im Büro gehen. Das ist doch mein Büro. Nee, hier geht nichts.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Was soll ich machen? Was soll ich denn machen? Und wieder neu starten.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, Moment. Das ist doch neu. Bin ich jetzt völlig verrückt oder ist diese Kurve hier neu? Oh, Nilsis kommen.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he
Böhmis.
couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Die Bohmhoffsche Armee raidet. Leute, willkommen. Hello. Hype. Hallo, Bödefels. Willkommen. Schön, dass ihr da seid. Ich erlebe hier einen Mindfuck nach dem anderen, aber ich bin mir jetzt gerade nicht mehr sicher, ob diese Kurve neu ist oder nicht. Das ist ja komplett crazy. Ich könnte schwören, die Kurve ist neu, aber da seht ihr mal, obwohl ich jetzt schon
Stanley came to a
10-mal
set of two
vorbeigelaufen
open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Weiß man nicht,
Perhaps he
weiß
wanted
einfach
to
nicht
stop
weiter.
by the employee lounge first.
Geht das einfach
once.
unendlich? Weil ich werde langsam müde.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Blaue genommen. Rote.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, wir gehen nochmal zum Boss. Hat hier was getan? Jetzt geht's. To be rich? Is it a crime to commit crimes? To be rich? What a life it would be. Das ist auf jeden Fall ein neuer Spruch in der Wand. Also es gibt scheinbar immer irgendeine kleine Veränderung. Was ja bedeutet, dass das Spiel weiß. Also es ist nicht wieder wie am Anfang. Dieser Aufzug, der macht mich wahnsinnig. Dass der zu nichts führt. Einfach, tut sich einfach nichts. Es ist immer das Gleiche.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Die Kamera da oben, die ist mir auch noch nicht aufgefallen. Dein Ernst? Oh, komm on. Weil ich den Code zu schnell eingegeben habe, bremst mich das Spiel jetzt aus.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
So. Hier waren wir halt auch schon dreimal.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ja gut, dann schalte ich es jetzt aus, oder was? Ach nee, das war ja was. Ich denn nochmal da in diesen Raum?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Eine Möglichkeit fällt mir noch ein.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wo ist Pirate? Da. Okay.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ja.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content.
Jetzt ignorieren wir das einfach
Walking,
alles hier.
eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over
Diesmal machen
another
wir
human life.
off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps
Und hier
the
startet
only thing
Elden
worth
Ring.
doing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Nein. Das kann doch nicht sein, Leute. Was?
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself, that's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Ich drehe durch. Seht ihr, jetzt ist doch hier schon wieder der Raum anders. Oder Bild. Ich bin
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
Ich weiß
admire it.
nicht. Ihr müsst doch mittlerweile alle Optionen einmal durch haben. Aber der ändert schon wieder seinen Text, habe ich das
But
Gefühl.
eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on
Aber es gibt ja
track.
theoretisch wie bei so einem Zahlenschloss unendlich Möglichkeiten, wie du was miteinander kombinierst. Also
But Stanley didn't want to go back
erst
to the
links, dann
office.
rechts,
He
erst
wanted
rechts,
to
dann
wander
links
about
und so
and
weiter
get
und so
even
fort.
further off track.
Right.
So now, in order to get back, he needed to go from here. It's Oh no, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Ja, nicht unendlich, aber auf jeden Fall viele.
Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Wie kommt jetzt hier wieder dieses...
No,
They resetted it.
no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Okay, das hatte ich halt auch schon. Das ist einfach gleich geblieben. Na gut, ich glaube, ich habe jetzt erstmal genug von Stanley Parable. Es kann jetzt auch noch 100 Stunden so weitergehen.
And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hm? Okay, from the top.
So, Leute. Oh.